Hi everyone and welcome to the HR Green Room, the place where people, culture and a couple of splashes of green come together. I'm your host for today. I'm James Proctor, Chief Operating Officer at Phase 3. And together we lift the curtain on the world of HR with fresh ideas, honest conversations and a few surprises along the way. Each episode will ask what made us green with envy, what deserves the green light, and of course we'll be joined by some fabulous guests who bring their own colour to the conversation. So grab a seat, the show's about to start in the HR Green Room. So welcome, Michelle.
Thanks for having me, James.
It feels strange, this, doesn't it? Because originally this was our podcast.
It was our podcast.
Yeah,
it was.
Slight change to the format. You're now a guest, but pleased to have you back. Anyway.
It's lovely to be back. Thank you for having me.
No problem. So, still a moment. Tell us your name, where you come from.
I think everybody knows me by now, but yeah. So, Michelle Hare. I'm the Global Head of Customer Success for Sage People. I've been head of customer success now. It's coming up for 2 years, and I've been 6 years at Sage in total as well. I can't believe it. And we've been working together for
most of that time.
Most of that time
yeah,
as well. So yes. So thanks again for having me.
No worries. So tell everyone your background in terms of where you came from and your lovely story as to how you arrived at Sage.
Oh, blimey. It's a long story. So I was 50 last year.
No. 40.
I started my a career in retail. So I started at Tesco in Cheshunt. If anyone knows Brookfield Centre, that's where I started my career. And that's where I really knew that I was good working with customers. Naturally, my personality, I'm quite outgoing. With Tesco, I learned HR, so operational HR, but then I got into systems and we were implementing PeopleSoft, as it was back in the days, and I thought I really like this. So and I was looking after all the UK platforms then as well, so I already had an instinct for systems. And then I decided to move on to the dark side and become a PeopleSoft consultant with a little boutique company called Succeed, who you worked with before.
Yeah.
And then worked with lots of other hospitality and retailers. So Morrison's, that's where I met Charlotte, my boss Charlotte Yardley, Pret a Manger, Whitbread. So big implementations. Loved it. And then customer success started to get quite fashionable about 8 years ago, and everyone was like, "What's customer success?" And I thought I could do this. I could do this job. So I joined a company called Lemess. So they were taken over by Cornerstone or Saba, and I was the second customer success manager in the organisation, so that we could really build out what that looked like. And my former director, Andrew Greaves, hello Andrew, was there as well. So I did customer success in Lemess for about 2 years. Then I moved to LinkedIn, did customer success for a couple of years as well. That was Glint, the Glint engagement surveys. And then Andrew got me a job at Sage.
So did you join as head of customer success? Or?
No. I came in as a customer success manager. Right. And then I was promoted to senior, and then I was promoted to head of customer success. God help everybody.
And what does customer success look like at Sage? What do you actually do? Because it's different everywhere, isn't it?
It's different everywhere. And every company I've worked in, we've done it differently. From what department we roll up into. Sometimes it's sales, sometimes it's implementation and services. In Sage, it's part of our go-to-market team. But customer success is wrapped up into a few words, is to make your customers successful. So making sure that customers realise the return on investment of a product that they're using. And in this case, it's Sage People, which is our global HR product. And once the CEO, the CPOs and the HRDs are successful, we help deliver their goals, then they're going to stay with us. So it's my two big metrics are retention and sentiment of customers. So, but I love it. I love working with customers every day. And I've got a brilliant team. I've got 10 global customer success manager. So I now look after success in America, in Germany, and I also dotted line with Australia as well. So God, that's brought up a load of time zone issues, trying to meet people, and culturally as well, it's very different being exposed to those populations.
You'll have to visit.
Well, Australia, Sydney. Yes, no, definitely. I'm hoping to get out to the States and see.
And for people who don't know about Sage People, it's quite a different product, I would say, compared to a lot in the market, because it's not modular.
No.
And that's something that really stands out for Sage People. So in terms of your role, you're not really there to upsell more modules, because there's nothing really else to buy, is there? You've bought the product. So that must make the conversation quite different for you compared to kind of more sales-based customer success.
Yeah.
It's about adoption.
Exactly. It's adoption and just making sure that, and utilisation, and making sure that what goals the customer has. So, improve retention, increase performance, how Sage People can deliver that for them and support them through it. But you're right. It's not modular. It's you get everything as part of the package. We've introduced some partners we're working with, so Uptime, for example, which is a great product for Spotify for learning, digestible chunks, Workforce Intelligence, which is our reporting engine. So there's bits that we're bringing to the party as well, which is nice. But it is a very different conversation to our competitors.
And I suppose the topic of today's episode is global HR.
Yes.
And Sage People is truly global, isn't it? And I've always been really impressed when I've seen demos in terms of the level of translation available within the platform, because that is a key issue, isn't it, in terms of communications? Yeah,
exactly. And one of the items, so translation is absolutely, but also with Uptime as well, that's comes with so many translations to for that engagement of your full global workforce. It's so important to have that. And being able to implement local rules and legislation is key to a global product.
It's really interesting as well, isn't it? Because there's lots more of these kind of global employer of record style solutions that are coming out, things like Deal and Rippling and solutions such as that. But Sage People is purely the HCM element of it, isn't it? It's not providing that employer of record. And I think one of the companies we're working with collectively, they're in 13 countries and 53 different legal entities, and Sage People can handle the complexity of that. So it's really different in terms of how it can scale and deliver. But as a product, how would you describe it compared to others potentially?
What stands out for me with Sage People is its configurability. So you can really make it, organizations can really make it their own to support their processes. So there's other products on the market that aren't as configurable, and we're actually seeing a bit of a trend when companies outgrow those probably more structured, less customizable products that they're growing, and they're going global. There's more legislation, there's more policies, that Sage People is the better fit because of its configurability, which I love. That can bring its own challenges. So support, if there's different fields on a different screen, etc. But working with teams like Phase 3 and implementation partners to really support customers understand the best, the best practice, etc., and not to go crazy.
So right now, what are the challenges that CPOs are facing? I would imagine culture's complex globally.
Yeah. No, definitely. So especially when some of the organisations, some of our customers, they are expanding so rapidly into different countries and into different markets. I think they're finding it very difficult to keep up. One aspect that our CPOs are being challenged with especially with culture, is data. So employees are really uncomfortable. Some are very uncomfortable with what data that organisations are tracking. And that is very different from the UK to, say, somewhere like Germany, where there's loads of work councils, all the way through to India. They're also finding that the way they engage their workforce, that when it comes from a central base, so let's say for the UK, for example, that might not actually be translated or be inclusive in a different country. So a word may not, that's supposed to be funny or humorous or inclusive, is actually is not taken the same way in a different culture. So even one of the CPOs said even like an emoji, like a winking emoji might be seen as offensive, etc., etc.
It's things like pride as well, isn't it? That doesn't always translate globally in the right way. Yeah,
absolutely. So I think it's very difficult to get that balance to ensure there is global inclusion across an organisation. So you have I don't think policies, just pushing out policies is key. You need to have them, but ways of how you engage people at the local level. So is it forums? Is it little networks, etc.? Have you seen that at all?
Yeah, and I was at an event with another partner a couple of weeks ago, and they've got a big team in India. And they had them live streamed into the room where we were, so that when the awards were happening, it was happening in both countries at the same time. I think that's the kind of thing that technology now enables us to do.
Yeah.
And I think the other thing is hiring without borders, especially with remote work in particular and work from anywhere policies. It is much more accessible to now find the skills that you need, even if you don't share the same language or location. Because you can hire globally for many, many roles in the kind of organisations that work with us and yourselves.
Yeah.
I think the other thing as well that we have to talk about is AI.
Oh God,
and how that's reshaping HR. And even that is different globally, isn't it, in terms of accessibility and usage of.
I know, and I was a bit sort of naive to it globally, in all honesty, that what are the considerations that we have to have globally. So obviously we have the AI Biased Act, which was big in America, and we're implementing it in the UK. But some countries, it's quite restrictive of what you can use AI for. So again, it's culturally, and being able to launch something globally, having an AI tool globally, there's considerations to be made.
Yeah, but a really interesting application there, isn't there? Something like an Ask HR tool, where if you are sat in India, typing in a different language to the HR team, but the system knows that you're in India, then it knows your policies, your rules, your entitlements, etc. That would be hugely valuable to an organisation who would probably have to be running things through Google Translate if the HR team are all based in the UK, for example, currently. So lots of really interesting applications for how AI could help.
Yes, definitely. And Sage People is on that journey as well. So a little bit of a teaser there, but there'll be more to come on that.
I think what's really interesting as well with Sage People is one of its strengths is reporting and data, isn't it?
Yes.
And
absolutely,
as you mentioned, there are some differences in terms of what data is gathered, but one of the insights that we see is that data is held centrally, and it's often the thing that organisations are driven towards a global platform for, that single source of truth. But reporting and insights out of that data aren't necessarily as good as they should be.
Yes.
And so, as much as we're expanding the volume of data we have, we're not expanding the insight that data can actually tell us.
Correct. And we're finding with engagement, so for instance, engagement surveys, which might pulse out twice a year, that can't be the only true form of sentiment. We have to do it more regularly. And in order for not customers, for employees to be engaged, people need to act on that data. And it doesn't happen. So as you mentioned there, we've got all this data everywhere, but not a drop of information.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, it's really important that there's actionable and transparency of what we're doing with that information.
And one of your reporting tools kind of gives you that insight, doesn't it?
Yeah. So we do, for engagement, there's pulse surveys, etc., which you can pulse away. We've also have workforce intelligence, so which looks at all the data in Sage People, and you can almost prompt it with questions, I suppose. So if you, as a CPO, if turnover's high or absence is high, it'll give you information on that. So it's a real strength.
Insight, not just data, basically, isn't
Insight,
it?
yes.
That's the thing.
Well done, James.
And it's how Sage Intact is working as well in terms of the Sage Copilot as well. So,
yes.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. It's interesting from an external perspective that you've done it in finance first and then HR. But
Sage is finance.
Yes,
it's accountancy first.
And numbers don't lie, do they?
No,
It is much more. It's transactional based. It's much more. Give me an answer to a question that is going to be numbers based, whereas HR is a lot more soft and fluffy, as we always say, and people based.
Exactly. Well, it's a bit like payroll, isn't it? Payroll's very much close it off, whereas HR is, as you said, the processes and procedure is different for every customer. I think I've worked with, James. I don't think there's one uniform one out there.
Yeah. And it's a really interesting time globally now in terms of workforce makeup, because I was reading an article last week and it said for the first time in recent history, probably since the wars, that we've got 5 generations working at once.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
And that's, I wouldn't have actually thought about that, but the even within a single country, having 5 different generations working together and the generational gaps in terms of, I mean, there's lots of funny memes about the difference between a millennial at work and Gen Z at work. You know, there's lots of funny differences, but then expanding that globally and having different countries, it's a whole new challenge that I couldn't even imagine how you would face employee engagement.
I know, exactly. Yeah. And a lot of people you talk to think, oh, you know, the older generation. I mean, what am I now? I'm 1975 baby, so...
Are you a boomer?
No, I don't think I'm a boomer. I think I'm just after that.
After the boomers.
But we've
before millennials.
Yeah, but being 1975, I've moved through so much technology.
Yeah.
And my parents and my grandparents have. So, you know, it's just from a radio to 3 channels on TV. Then we had a dial-up phone. So I think we've got to give them some credit. They've been through a lot of changes. And I think, like my dad loves talking to Copilot and stuff and playing about with the different, you know, loading his photographs on and stuff like that. But, it is extraordinary that we've got 5 generations worth.
And for leaders, that's got to be a particular challenge in terms of managing different generations, even depending on what generation you are as the manager.
Yes.
Because it's not necessarily that it's going to be the older people that are managing the younger people. You know, there's lots of skill in young people, and they are leading teams and leading them in a great way. I always remember my first job as a manager, I was the youngest person in the team. So everybody that I was managing was a lot older than me. Some of them kind of more than double my age. Wow, and I faced a lot of ageism, kind of the wrong way around at that point. So yeah, it's interesting that in terms of the dynamics there between managers and employees.
And then if it's 5 generations worth, that engagement is very, very different between, you know, our youngest employees. They want to engage, the speed. They want more speed. They want it like I can send a like, etc. But then maybe, well, like when I first did my engagement survey at Tesco, it was on a bit of paper and we posted it in a post box. Yeah, I mean it's no, it makes sense. And even outside of the tech, just the expectations and benefits in particular, you know, when you're thinking about benefits for a global organisation and different generations. I mean, we did a survey at Phase 3 a few years ago, and what we found was that based on the age group, there are some things. So
the younger employees need salary rather than bonuses because it then helps them get a mortgage.
Very true.
People in kind of more midlife are more focused on health and well-being, and then people kind of working towards retirement obviously focus much more around pension benefits and things like life insurance, death in service. So even just in a small company like ours, there's quite a breadth, but then on a global scale, and I suppose you are part of a global brand as well.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you work for Sage UK, or do you work for like Sage Global? Does that feel like you're a global company?
Well, it does now, because I look
Yeah.
after a global team.
Yeah.
Because I think before we were very UK. Well, I was UKI, so UK. But I was recently looking through our new people zone. We've just launched a new people zone, which is really collaborative globally. And I was just like, wow, all the different countries that we operate in, and some I didn't even know we operated in, and the policies and the ways of working that we've got in there. I love Sage, because Sage is born and bred Newcastle. It's a British brand, and I sometimes forget that we're so global, and our outreach is phenomenal.
Yeah, and I suppose because of what you do as well, you are quite geographical in terms of US is based on US law, US accounting, UK is UK law, UK
German.
accounting. Yeah.
That's scary. German.
German payroll is very complex.
Yeah. Any sort of work council conversation is a bit nerve-wracking. Australia, you think Australia is very sort of like bubbly and outgoing, but they're very serious when it comes to work, which is culturally.
In corporate.
Yeah, no, exactly. But yeah, so, the outreach of Sage is phenomenal.
And as focusing on tech, it's an interesting shift, I think, that now HR are becoming the buyers of HR tech. So I think historically, even...
It would be IT.
Yeah, about 5 years ago, IT would be CIO that would be dealing it. Sometimes procurement would be involved, but sometimes HR weren't even in the room.
Yeah, I know.
And
it's I just don't know how that even happened. I mean, even with Tesco, when they were purchasing PeopleSoft, I mean, a huge, massive HR payroll transformation project. It was about 30 years ago. But it was all IT doing it. I remember being on the project.
Yeah. And it's interesting, isn't it? Because I suppose HR are the owners of the process, but in terms of the data, it is the company's data. And so many people need data from HR.
Yes.
Even just the basics of your Active Directory and things like that, just being able to update that. But HR not being in the room is just such a strange concept that people were buying technology on behalf of them. And I also think perhaps it was a bit of HR people going,
I don't want to know.
We don't do tech. Yeah, we don't. We talk to people, not systems. Yeah.
Yeah, don't like the system. And that time ago, it was very very much like that. It's technical. I remember one of my managers, God bless her soul, she said to me, I'm not even going to log on, Michelle. Success for me is not logging on to PeopleSoft. I was like, Alison, you are kidding me. You are the business owner. You need to get into the platform. There was just that whole, no, we don't do tech in HR.
They didn't understand the value, probably.
Well, yeah, exactly. Exactly. I remember the old staff handbook.
Yeah.
There's the business requirement. That's the policy.
Yeah.
Talking about, though, HR being in the room, I am finding, though, that there's a map. Instead of HR tech first, it's payroll. It's swapping. I'm finding a lot more companies are focusing on payroll.
Yeah. And then working upstream.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, like the last 8 months, maybe, I've seen that real sort of shift. I suppose payroll is very local as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
So they need to get it right for those different countries. But there's definitely been a shift.
Yeah, there's very few global payroll platforms, but there's got these global HR.
Yeah.
So I suppose it makes sense if you find the HR tool that everything connects into and is pulling data from.
Yeah.
And that is the beauty of Sage People, isn't it, in terms of like the payroll integrations, API capability.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. And then you've mentioned uptime already, but continuous learning, that is another theme in particular for more global organisations and local ones as well.
Yeah. And being And organisations being so time poor as well.
Yeah.
We haven't got time to go and sit through a big an hour and a half training, etc. And so what Uptime is bringing to the table is that condensed learning that is called hacks in Uptime. So you can absorb that learning really quickly and effectively. But it's not just about the work courses, it's about well-being, engagement. It works with you, so it's always suggesting items for you to read, etc. And it's really exciting when our customers start to use it as well. I can't wait for another 6 months so we can just see the case studies and how it's transformed their organisations.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we're coming up to event season now, aren't we?
Oh, God, it's so busy.
It's your favourite time of the year. Michelle will be walking around the Excel with a microphone.
On stage,
yes,
yes, my favourite place.
So we are at HR Technologies,
yes.
As are you, and Uptime are going to be joining us on stage. So we've got a presentation that we're doing about lifelong learning and about humans and AI working together rather than trying to replace each other.
Is that London or Amsterdam?
That's
or both?
London.
Oh, okay,
yes, yeah. We're doing it at London. So
I love that
that's
theme.
at the end of April. So Andy from Uptime is going to be there, and we're going to be on stage together. So then there's CIPD. We'll have Unleash again. So lots of
stuff.
Lots of opportunities to see the product in action and find out what's happening with it as well.
Yeah.
And you're doing a customer event this year as well.
Yeah,
for the first time in a while.
I'm so excited, and I got quite tearful actually because I've been wanting to do a customer event for so long, because it's so important to look after our customers and have events where they can network, they can see new technology, they can meet wonderful partners like Phase 3. And when we got the go-ahead for the budget, I was just like, wow. And it's not just any customer event. It's not beige like some of our events have been. It's at a really beautiful hotel in Soho, London, called the Ham Yard. And we've got like this lovely contained space. It's got like a big stage, there's breakout rooms, there's karaoke and 10-pin bowling in the evening. So, but I just wanted to give some love to our customers and just give them a day of great insights, meet lots of people. They'll see all the new AI that we're going to be bringing into the Sage People product, and just talk to each other. You know, what's going.
So much value in those conversations, isn't there?
Oh, I'm doing this. Have you done that? What are you doing about this? So
it's been a tough gig to work in HR for the last 5 years. People do need that support, that networking, and I mean, even now the world is shifting again, isn't it, in terms of people in businesses? And it's. I think customer events are a fantastic way of being able to do that and share with people who aren't in competition with you.
Exactly.
Ultimately, you're all in the same boat.
Exactly. And our customers are so passionate about our roadmap and what we're bringing into Sage People. But and one of the points that makes Sage People stand out from other vendors is the people. It's our human aspect, and we'll never remove that. There'll always be dedicated customer success managers, support our implementation partners. So I feel like we create a real wonderful human community with our customers. So and I want to continue that. I want to do events, a big event every year, but we're also having more round tables, so we get CHRs, HRD, CPOs in a room, so they can really, talk about what's happening in their organisations. And what's important.
Right. Well, we are coming up towards the end now of the episode.
Is it the green bits?
Yeah. Are you prepared for your green bits?
I am. It took me ages to come up with it, but yes. So what's the first one we do?
What are you green with envy about?
Green with envy. Hold on a minute. I've got it here somewhere. I'm going to flip. Oh, so actually going with our theme, I thought, so companies that listen to their employees continuously and act visibly. So, so as I mentioned with engagement surveys, sometimes it feels like it's a tick in the box exercise. I've done the survey, brilliant. But you need to act upon those results because they're from your employees. And I read an interesting fact the other day that with any type of surveys, the response rates are actually declining. So NPS, engagement, because people are they're like, well, why should I fill it in?
Yeah.
No one's listening to me.
Well, it's interesting that because I'll make you agree with everything about what we do with our pulse surveys. Obviously, we use Sage People.
Yes.
Ours is a monthly pulse survey, and we ask the same 5 questions every time. And one of them is a text box question. The rest of them are ratings.
Yeah.
And every week in our weekly update that goes out to the whole business, we publish the comments from the pulse survey and then the response. And they're all tracked in a spreadsheet, as you would expect, in terms of the themes that come out of that. And then when we set our 90-day plan, we go through and check that we've included everything that was there. And there's been suggestions like, can you reconsider the benefits, or what's happening with salary reviews and things
dental
like that.
Plan.
Dental.
Blah, blah. Yeah.
So that's a good example, because everybody said, can we have salary sacrifice pension instead of just a normal net pension?
Yeah.
And then with the saving that we made from the employers and I moving to a salary sacrifice pension, we asked people what benefits were most important, and dental came out highest. So then we introduced a dental plan for everyone using the saving from changing the salary sacrifice pension, and that all came from our pulse survey. So
nice. I love that.
Yeah.
I'm a massive advocate of engagement because I worked for Glint and Glint, we now use Glint in Sage organisation. I always make sure that we've got actionable plans. So our last pulse was in October. We've got another one coming up soon, but it was around well-being. So we've put stuff in place for well-being. So we're going to do knitting class, and we're going to do desk yoga. I think you said about desk yoga, but it just shows we've listened and that we care. And it's actually part of my strategy this year in customer success to have well-being in the, real focus on it, because I need to look after my team.
Yeah.
So.
And you've got uptime, so.
And uptime as well, exactly.
Yeah, lifelong well-being.
Yes.
Okay, and what would you like to give the green light to?
Oh God, have I done this one? Hold on. 1 minute. Oh, I quite like this one. Again, it's to do with, culture. So the future of global HR isn't about more policies. It's about HR understanding people at scale. So what I mean by that is understanding the local elements and making sure that processes, engagement is not just about the head office and hoping that all other countries and cultures are going to adopt it.
Yeah.
They need to understand
local requirements, local cultures. Yeah.
Yeah.
Subcultures within the business culture. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Perfect.
So I just wanted to bring that along with our theme.
Well, thank you. It's been lovely having you back.
It's been wonderful. Thank you.
And we will be together at pretty much most of the events this year, won't we?
Yeah. So next
everywhere where Sage are, we seem to be there as well.
We love you. That's why. Are you coming to Amsterdam, HR Tech?
No, not this year.
Okay.
No, I'm not going to that one.
Okay, so see you in London.
See you in London.
See you at the
customer
May
event.
12th event, customer event. If you haven't registered already, just whip onto the reach out to your customer success manager. And then Unleash will be October. We've already got our customer tickets, so again we can start allocating those. Were you at Unleash last year?
Yes.
You were?
Yeah,
Perfect.
You forgot we went to Paris together and sailed down the Seine drinking champagne. That's probably why you forgot.
With the Eiffel Tower.
Yep.
And it was very romantic, James. Very romantic.
It was a great event, to be fair.
It was very good.
Yeah.
So, lovely.
Thank you for joining us in the HR Green Room. Please do like, follow and subscribe. And until next time, keep doing the things that matter the most.